Thanks to the support as a channel member, Curtis Rothwell. Well, everything, touch wood, is still going to plan this season. We're unbeaten in the league. We're looking good in Europe. I've even managed to play the goalkeepers in exactly half the number of games each. But today we face our first proper tests in Europe, Napoli and Galatasaray. I think we're going to find out where we actually stand when it comes to European competition. Hello and welcome to Club 2, part 33 of LOLLUJO Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those two European games. We're at home against Napoli. We've then got some off-camera matches before going away to Galatasaray. Since you were last with me, we have continued our unbeaten start to the season. A win against Arsenal, a draw against Manchester City. This is actually one of the most impressive results of my entire Football Manager career. Carlos Eduardo was sent off in the first minute as part of an incident that also led to Manchester City getting a penalty and then scoring the penalty through Erling Haaland. And by half an hour in, they were 3-0 up and it looked like it was just all going badly wrong. But Reyes, 2 goals either side of half-time, and then Rafa with an absolute screamer on 78 minutes managed to rescue us the point. We basically played, we just took Sartori off after a minute, brought a defender on and played the 4-2-2-1, I guess you would call it. And it looked like it wasn't working, and then it started working. So that I'm pretty impressed with the mental awesomeness, I think is the way we'd describe it, that we showed in that game to avoid a defeat. We are the only, and okay, Man City, us and Manchester City are the only unbeaten teams in the Premier League so far. Can the original Invincibles go invincible again? Surely not. Probably not. That's not the focus of today, though. The focus of today is Europe, and Europe is going pretty well as well. Obviously, you saw us beat Victoria Plzeň in the first match. We then had an even bigger win over Legia Warsaw in the second league stage match, which leads us, after 2 matches, to be top of the Europa League. But of course, Napoli are pretty good. Galatasaray, you would expect to be better than their current league position demonstrates as well. So I would expect a couple of challenging matches today, but we shall see. This is the team that we're putting out there for the Napoli game. We've got Simon in goal, just to prove as well. They are playing half the matches each. There you go. The 2 goalkeepers both played 6 matches. Simon still just about edging it on a 7.32 average with Blanco on a 7.12. We're just going to keep doing the comparison of them until everyone admits I was a genius for signing Simon, and we've actually got 2 very good goalkeepers. So Simon's only conceded 3 goals compared to Blanco's 7. Blanco did have to play against Manchester City, though, which does make things a little bit trickier. He does make more saves. In fact, no, Simon is now up to 4.17 on total saves per 90 minutes. So actually, the only thing Blanco is edging now is pass completion. It is starting to look like Dennis Simon might be the better of the 2 goalkeepers. He's got a better conceded per 90, better total saves per 90, and a much higher average rating. But of course, he is still playing in the less important matches. Blanco, as mentioned, played against Manchester City. Although to be fair, Simon is now going to play against Napoli, so this is going to be a big test for him. So Simon in goal, a back 4 of Robertson, Eduardo, de Klerk, and McGuinness, Sana and White in midfield, Rojas, Watson, and Ross then behind Reyes up front. So let's get this team submitted and fingers crossed pick up another win in Europe. If we pick up a win here, we are close to qualified, I would suggest. You only have to finish in the top 24. I think 9 points is probably enough to get into the top 24. That's with 5 games still to play. Obviously, the goal for us as a Premier League team is to get into that top 8, because top 8 skip the first knockout round and go straight through to the last 16. So we'd quite like to do that if possible. Although we should probably just focus on beating Napoli today, because I imagine they're going to be quite good. Even though we've got the real name fixed to get Napoli in as Napoli, it looks like the little in-game graphic doesn't have the correct name fix, which that's interesting. Is that part of the UEFA licensing? Do we think that it's done that? It doesn't let you, I don't know. I don't know why that would do that. I've not really come across that. Manchester United are another example, of course, of a team who don't have their real name in game. Does that show up incorrectly up there? I don't know that it does. Ball over the top, looking for Reyes. He can't get there, but Rojas is there to follow up. And if he can find Reyes, he's had a shot, but it does bobble to Reyes, who very nearly manages to nod it past the Napoli goalkeeper. And that would have been an against run of play equaliser. We've not really had anything go our way just yet. I did mention that today might be a tougher challenge than what we've experienced in Europe so far. It's certainly the first time in a European match we've put the first team out, the reserves playing those first couple of matches, but we did expect a tougher challenge against Napoli, and that certainly seems to be the case so far. Into the second half, Watson from the McGuinness throw tries to play it across to White, but he's dispossessed before he even gets there. A little bit sloppy from White, not really moving towards the ball, and I think that's outside the area. The referee is going to have a look at it. They definitely were in the area. I think by the time the foul happened, they'd stepped out. They were kind of going diagonally across the corner of the penalty area. So I think we're okay. We are okay. Hopefully White isn't going to get any further punishment. It doesn't look like he is. It's a dangerous place to concede a free kick. And to go 2-0 down here would be problematic. But Eduardo is there to head clear, and Ross now trying to get a counter-attack up and running. It's 2 against 2. Ross and Reyes in the attack for us, although several Napoli players have flooded back now. And Ross finds White, and now Rojas, who gives the ball away, and that's taken all of the sting out of what looked like a strong counter-attacking position for us to not even end up having a shot is not ideal. Let's offer a little bit of encouragement. I guess a narrow defeat against Napoli isn't going to be too upsetting for us, but then this is the team who've just beat Arsenal, just had that fantastic comeback against Manchester City. We've got to believe that we're capable of getting a result against Napoli, or else what's the point in playing in the Europa League? White looking to play it across to McGuinness, who looks like he'll get there. He does get there. And it's a lovely first-time ball forward to Ross, who takes a touch, plays it across to Reyes, who can't get a proper contact on the header, but now Rojas playing it back over to Reyes, and he gets proper contact this time, and there is the equaliser. It's Ignacio Reyes. It's an 8th goal of the season for him, and it's 1-1. And we've already done one brilliant comeback this week against City. Is this what we do now? We have comebacks against teams in silly light blue shirts. Lovely header from Reyes. 1-1, 25 minutes still to go. And all of a sudden, we are in with a chance. We are the team in the ascendancy currently. And we need to have a little look down to the bench and work out who we've got, who we can throw on as a potential match winner. Harvey White's going to come off and Rafa can come on in midfield. That's an easy decision to make. Ross hasn't had the best of games either, so Sartori can come on and play on that right-hand side. I think just a couple of changes for now is probably fine. We're going to offer a little bit more encouragement. We'd obviously love the win. A draw would be fine, but we'd love the win. We don't want to lose, though. Victor Osimhen for Napoli, putting them 2-1 up. We are so good from set pieces that it's quite troubling to see us concede one so easily. I think he's got up above de Klerk there as well, which is so unlikely. De Klerk, we've seen be so dominant in the air, both attacking and defensively at these set pieces for his entire time at the club. And to have Osimhen just leap above him is upsetting. Right, Robertson is tiring, so Valente can come on and play left back. We're also going to take off Watson and bring on, where is he? Mancia, so we can drop Reyes back in there. And I think we're going to go attacking as well. And I'm looking at the bench, wondering if there's anyone else who can come on and help us win this football match. Antas is the obvious one. I think we bring him on for Rojas and go with that. And just hope. Should we demand more? Demand more feels a little harsh. We're only losing by 1 goal against Napoli. But you know what? Let's put a rocket up them and hope that by demanding more, which we rarely do, we might just inspire them to go and grab an equaliser. Reyes trying to press the Napoli defender here, but they've lumped the ball forward. And Eduardo winning it in the air, and Rafa now across to Sana, who's played it forward looking for Antas, who's got him behind here, and there's the finish from Antas. And as long as he's kept himself onside, that's a 91st minute equaliser. And I think he has no sign of the referee even checking this one. It's a lovely counter-attacking move again. Rafa plays it across to Sana, who just has one quick look up, and Antas has got in behind his defender. We said the words that came out of my mouth, who is the most likely to get us back into this match? We went with Antas, and he's only gone and done exactly that. now will offer some encouragement. 2-2's absolutely fine, but Sartori, Reyes, Mancia, between all of them, are going to try and add a third. That might be a penalty. Sartori's been brought down in the penalty area. The referee is going over to the little telly. I'll level with you. It looked like a little bit of a soft one. We'll say it quietly. There you go. We'll run over here and say it quietly so the ref doesn't hear me. But I think that might be, that looked a bit soft. I don't know that this is going to be given. But the referee, I mean, who knows what the graphics engine is showing us. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. And yeah, okay, it did look a bit soft. I'll allow it. I would now like to lodge a formal complaint that play was stopped while we had the ball in the penalty area. So, you know, if we could have the ball back, not necessarily even for a penalty, but it's actually going to lead to a Napoli goal. And this doesn't feel like this is how VAR should work. Okay, it's ended 2-2. Absolutely a fair result for us. Napoli will feel a little bit hard done by, but we still maintain our unbeaten record. And that's fine. We can cope with that. We've got these matches to play off camera now, and we will be back for Galatasaray, where a win there, similar to what we said with Napoli, a win in Galatasaray, that famous Turkish city, a win at Galatasaray should see us through to the knockout rounds of the Europa League. Well, I know I said we'd be back for Galatasaray, but I think it actually makes more sense to show you this West Ham game because it's actually a top of the table clash, or at least it was before the matches earlier in the day. We were first and second, West Ham first, us second. So we could go top of the league with a win here. Either way, we're at least going to be top 4 by the end of the episode. The 2 matches I played off camera, we beat Wolves 5-0. A fantastic hat-trick from Mancia, who is really starting to look the part. That being said, Reyes is, or was, again, before the earlier games, joint top scorer with Haaland in the Premier League. So Reyes is still our main man, I guess. Although Mancia is in great form because we played West Ham in midweek in the Moose Cup, and he scored the only goal of the game for us to knock West Ham out. But that was at our place. We now head to West Ham, and this is the team we're sending there. So it's going to be Blanco in goal, a battle for Robertson, Valente, de Klerk, and McGuinness, Braddock and Rafa in midfield, Sartori, Watson, and Antas with Mancia up front. So again, it's kind of the theme of this run of pre-Christmas matches where we're just playing Sunday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, or Thursday. You get the idea. We're playing twice a week, every week. We don't really have a set first 11. If you have a look at the teams that we've played in those last few matches. So this was the 11 against Wolves. So that's quite a different team to the team that played midweek against West Ham. And then playing again against West Ham. Although I've just noticed we've not played Reyes from the start since Napoli. So I guess we'll play Reyes against Galatasaray. It'll be fine. We just need to make sure we're not upsetting anybody. It's not just in the goalkeepers. I need to manage game time. Everyone needs their game time managing so nobody gets upset. And if we have a little look, everyone down to, like, I mean, Valente and Eduardo, I would say are probably happy being rotation-y options. I think everyone from here down, Valente, Eduardo, Braddock, Antas, all these guys should be expecting rotation gameplay, whereas everyone from Blanco upwards is probably expecting to play a little bit more often, and they are. 7 games, 8 games. The only player who's played 12 is the guy who everyone would say is comfortably our best player, de Klerk. He's going to play more games than anybody else. He's wanted by Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. He's a full Belgium international. Russell Ross is our captain. Andrew Robertson is Andrew Robertson. These guys you would expect to be playing more games than everybody else. So I don't think anybody is going to be getting upset just yet. We should be okay. So let's get into the match and hopefully pick up 3 points, because a win will leave Preston North End top of the Premier League with more than a quarter of the season gone. It's not like this is just after a couple of matches. This is end of October. We could be finding ourselves top of the Premier League, which would be a jolly fine place to find ourselves, although West Ham are going to be tough opposition because they are the team currently in possession of that top of the table spot. But we've got the opportunity for a counter-attack here through Antas, who is breaking down this left-hand side but couldn't get past his man. It's back with Antas, and now Rafa just clearing things up and allowing us to rebuild from the back. And it's Antas again trying to get things moving. He seems keen to run with the ball today, which is no bad thing. He's really rather good at it. Antas and Sartori could quite happily rotate between these two wings as well. We've started with Sartori on the left, Antas on the right. I think I might prefer them the other way around, so we might well switch that if it looks like they're not getting too much joy. I think Antas is probably more of the goal threat. They're both right-footers, so I think Antas is probably more of a goal threat coming in off the left than Sartori is, where Sartori is more of a creative player. But we'll leave it like this for now. And that's a lovely, tempting cross from Antas. And I wonder if Reyes is the guy in the middle rather than Mancia, or Tamang in particular, as the big target man guy. I wonder if one of the two bigger, better in the air strikers maybe score from that cross. It's the kind of cross as a big centre forward you would be inviting all afternoon. But it's back with Blanco in goal, who rolls it out to de Klerk. And now McGuinness on the right-hand side. He's going to have a little run with the ball, finds Antas, who is involved in everything so far in this game. He had 3 men on him there, and none of them could take the ball away. And Braddock, with a wonderful ball over the top to Sartori. Maybe he's a goal threat too. Sartori with a lovely little finish, dinking it over the top of the goalkeeper. I mean, you cannot overstate how good that pass from Braddock is. Braddock is 19 years old, 20 years old, young English player playing in the Premier League for the first time this season. It's only like he's in single figures for Premier League starts in his career, and has just played a pass like that to set up a goal in a top of the table clash. He is going to be quite the player a year or two down the line. And it was a wonderful pass, a wonderful goal. And as you can see, as of right now, Preston North End, after 11 games, are top of the Premier League. Long may it continue. The original Invincibles, we're at it again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to concede a goal almost immediately from the restart. It's a very nice hit as well. He has absolutely walloped that with the outside of his right foot. Blanco doesn't really stand a chance. Would Dennis Simon have stood a chance? Feel free to let me know down in the comments section. I actively encourage you all every day to tell me which one of these goalkeepers is better. Shut up, Siri. Goodness me, Siri trying to weigh in on the who's the better goalkeeper debate. Obviously, the equaliser pushes us back off the top of the table, which is very, very sad. But we have been the better team so far. We're going to offer a little bit of encouragement and just try and get the lads going forward again and see if we can sneak another goal before half-time. I think second half, we're going to swap Sartori and Antas around. I know Sartori's grabbed a goal, but Antas, I just really like him on that side. And I think Sartori is more comfortable tucking in from the right as well. So we're gonna go with that for the second half. The only change we're making at half time. And fingers crossed, there's goals in our future. Obviously, we have got a very fresh Reyes on the bench who can come on sooner rather than later, probably. Mancia is having his most quiet match of a little while. That's a lovely ball from Robertson to play Sartori in. If he can find the cross, he can't. He's actually, I mean, that's pretty poor the way he's given the ball away there. And now West Ham looking to get a counter-attack going. Robertson has managed to make it all the way back to cover. He might be 35 years old, but he's still got a bit of an engine on him. But it is West Ham on the attack again. And I could really use somebody getting a tackle in here, please. Antas trying to follow them around. Declan Rice lurking on the edge of the area, playing it across here. And that is, I mean, that's whistled past that post from the edge of the area. A little bit of a warning shot fairly early in this second half. And I think we're going to get Reyes on sooner rather than later. Mancia not being at his best today. He's played a lot of football recently. And I think we make that change now and get Reyes on. And potentially, I'm looking at Antas. I'm wondering if we bring Rojas on. It might be a little bit early for other changes. I think we just bring Reyes on now. One of the top scorers in the Premier League, 1 goal behind Haaland at the moment. And I just wonder if he might be a little bit more productive in front of goal than Mancia has been today. Right, does this mean... I think we're still allowed one more stoppage after this. I get confused by the numbers. Who knew? Long-term viewers, who would believe that numbers sometimes confuse me? It's baffling, isn't it? Right. Marin's going to come on for Sartori, and I think we're going to bring Rojas on for Antas. And we're just trying to change up the attack a little bit. We've still got other options to try and grab us a winner. I mean, to be honest, we're coming away from home to the top of the table team. We're obviously going to try and win it, but a draw here is a perfectly acceptable result. And now McGuinness down the right-hand side plays it back to Braddock, who has played very, very well in central midfield today. And Valente now finds Braddock again, who, I mean, look at that from Braddock. That is That is exceptional for a player of his age and experience. I think that's Declan Rice he's done that to there. And look better than him. Braddock's better than Rice. Now we know. Robertson got a little bit of space. Can he pick a pass? He's trying to pop it over the top for Rojas, who gets past his fullback, but unfortunately the ball just bounced a little bit too enthusiastically and it didn't come down in time, and the goalkeepers are able to pluck it out of the sky before it drops back down onto Rojas's left foot. What have we just seen? Oh my word! That might be my favourite goal in Football Manager ever. I mean, I wasn't ready. I don't think anyone was ready. This is ridiculous. Well, we'll take it. They've fixed the goalkeepers, everyone. No, nobody can let Dr. Benji see that. He'll feel like he's won an argument. Goodness me. Keep that away from him. We're going to bring on Rule Walters. Actually, we're not going to bring on Rule Walters. We're going to put Valenti to left back, and we're going to bring on Jovic to play alongside de Klerk, and then Walters is going to come on at right back for McGuinness, and that is the end of our substitutions, just freshening up the fullback situation. And I mean, we are ahead in this game through absolutely absurd circumstances. We'll take it all day long. But if we concede a goal like that, I would be fuming. Goodness me. That's why we've got two good goalkeepers. So when one of them does that, we can drop him for 5 matches. Well, to be fair, I guess you're probably blaming the defender there, aren't you? That's a lovely ball from Marin Reyes. Couldn't quite latch onto the end of it, but it's a wonderful idea from Marin, trying to just sneak it through in behind the defenders. The West Ham defenders are shook at the moment. Oh, that made me feel a little bit unclean saying that. But the West Ham defenders they are struggling. They are very aware of what they've just done, and they are very keen to get back into the game. Methinks they have got back into the game. Referee, is there anything we can disallow that for? I don't think there is. And again, I look at that and wonder if we've got 6'4" Dennis Simon, does he get muscled away from the ball as easily as Blanco does there? I mean, I know a lot of it sounds like I'm trying to justify the money we spent on Simon. I think Simon stops the cross. I am starting to lean towards Simon maybe being the better of the two. No decision made just yet, but that hasn't been the best game from either goalkeeper involved. At least we're still undefeated. We are not top of the league, but that is a nice little run to start any season. 11 games unbeaten. We are becoming draw specialists. 5 draws. We've drawn as more games than anyone other than Manchester United. They're the only other team with 5 draws. So it would be nice to convert some of these draws to wins, but we've got the 3 best players in the Premier League on average rating. Braddock, look at him. He's 21, actually. He's a little bit older than I thought he was, but for a first season, our first proper season playing in the Premier League, I don't think he started. He started 2 games last year before going out on loan, but that is a decent-looking season from David Braddock, who is very quickly becoming a key player for us. Right, we will obviously be back tomorrow. Look at the number of games we've got to play in December. This is why rotation is so important. 9 matches in December. I think it's fair to say we'll probably be back at some point in this December run of games. We might even make it all the way through to the end of December and have a little bit of a plan for what we're going to do in the January transfer window. But fingers crossed, we are still unbeaten in the league and still competitive in the Europa League when I see you again. That would be wonderful. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.